Hello and welcome to another episode of Julia Donaldson and Friends. I'm Julia and these are Ticky and Tacky and Jackie the Backy and Jim with two noses and Joe with the bow. There's some paper dolls that I made round about the time that I wrote a story called The Paper Dolls. Well, at first it was really hard to find an illustrator for that story, but in the end we found someone really good called Rebecca Cobb. You can see her name on the front of the book along with mine. So you're going to meet Rebecca a bit later on in the programme, but first of all I'm going to tell you the story of the paper dolls. There was once a girl who had some tiger slippers and a ceiling with stars on it and a butterfly hair slide which she kept losing and two goldfish and a nice mother who helped her to make some paper dolls. They were Ticky and Tacky and Jackie the Backy and Jim with two noses and Joe with the bow. And they danced and they jumped and they sang. And they met a dinosaur who clawed and roared and said, "I'm going to get you." But the paper dolls sang, "You can't get us, oh no. We're holding hands and we won't let go. We're Ticky and Tacky and Jackie the Backy and Jim with two noses and Joe with the bow." And they jumped onto a bus and rode to a farmyard and danced with the pigs. Then they lay on a rooftop and stared at the stars, till a tiger slunk out of his den, and he crouched and snarled and said, "I'll leap up and catch you." But the paper dolls sang, "You can't catch us, oh no. We're holding hands and we won't let go. We're Ticky and Tacky and Jackie the Backy and Jim with two noses and Joe with the bow." And they floated down the stairs and they danced round the honey pot and kicked crumbs and explored an island, till a fierce crocodile grinned his grin and gnashed his teeth and said, "I'm coming to crunch you." But the paper dolls laughed and sang, "You can't crunch us, oh no. We're holding hands and we won't let go. We're Ticky and Tacky and Jackie the Backy and Jim with two noses and Joe with the bow." And they hopped into the garden and they sniffed the flowers and chattered to a ladybird and lay down in a forest of grass. But along came a boy with a pair of scissors and he said, "I'll snip you." And he did. He snipped them into tiny little pieces and he said, "You're gone forever." But the paper dolls sang, "We're not gone, oh no. We're holding hands and we won't let go. We're Ticky and Tacky and Jackie the Backy and Jim with two noses and Joe with the bow." And the pieces of paper all joined together and the paper dolls flew into the little girl's memory, where they found white mice and fireworks and a starfish soap and a kind granny and the butterfly hair slide and more lovely things each day and each year. And the girl grew into a mother who helped her own little girl make some paper dolls. They were Poppy and Pinky and Binky the Blinky and Fred with one eyebrow and Flo with the bow. And they jumped and they danced and they sang. I hope you enjoyed that story and maybe you'd like to make your own paper dolls. Rebecca did actually show how to do that in one of the other broadcasts, the one about the Everywhere Bear. So you might like to watch that and find out, or you can find out how to make paper dolls. It's not too difficult actually. But when we published that book, we invited children from all over the world to send in their chains of paper dolls, and all of those paper dolls were spread out on the floor of an enormous room, the ballroom of the festival hall. Here's a picture of nearly all of them. We couldn't fit all of them into the picture actually, and we beat the record for the longest ever chain of paper dolls. Unfortunately, quite soon after that, someone else beat our record, but never mind about that. Well, now I'm going to hand you over to Rebecca, and she is going to draw a picture of the little girl in the story of the paper dolls.
Thanks so much, Julia, and hi everyone. I'm Rebecca and I've got my pencils ready here. I was going to draw you the little girl from the paper dolls, and she wears a butterfly hair slide like this, and she has a pair of tiger slippers and a toy dinosaur, and she loves making paper dolls, and this is how I draw her. So when I draw the girl from the paper dolls, I usually start, like I do with a lot of characters, I start by drawing her eyes first of all, because I always think that if I get the eyes wrong, the whole expression of the character wrong, then I have to start the whole thing again. So I usually begin with the eyes, and then I'll do a nose and a mouth, and then after that probably I would do the hair. I love drawing hair. I use a lot of pencils, and you can get quite a nice texture with hair. I mustn't forget her butterfly hair slide before I colour all of it in, so I'll just draw that there. And then she's got a hair bobble and a bit of a top knot like that. And I usually draw my characters in ink, but for this book I decided to use pencil. It just felt a bit softer for this story, so I'm drawing her in a pencil, but I'm using a brown pencil, and I coloured her in with a lot of pencil as well, so that's what I'm going to use today to show you. And then these are the lines for her cardigan down here, and I'm just going to tuck her arms behind her back like this. That's the side of her cardigan there. And then her dress like this. My pencil keeps breaking there. That's okay. I quite like it when the line goes a bit broken and a bit sort of different thicknesses in the line, so I don't mind if my pencil breaks a bit. Just adds to the sort of texture of the line. Then she's got her feet in her lovely tiger slippers. I'd quite like a pair of these slippers. I always have cold feet. I think these look very cool. So there we go. These are her slippers. Eyes and noses, and they've got whiskers as well. And stripes. Like this. And then her dress has got some smocking on it, which I just draw zigzag lines. And then zigzags back the other way. Like that. So it sort of makes a crisscross pattern on her dress. And then I'm just going to add a bit of colour. I usually start with rosy cheeks when I'm colouring in. And again, I quite like the different marks you can get with pencils, so I don't mind if it's a bit scribbly, because I quite like the variation you can get with. I'm just doing the butterfly hair slide. There we go, and her hair bubble is red as well. it's got a bit of blue at the top there. And she has a green stripy dress. So just got my green and I'm drawing stripes like that. And green tights as well. And her slippers are a nice bright orange. Like this. And what's left? Her cardigan. That's a sort of, it's like an orangey browny colour. Like this sort of colour of bricks, maybe. Sort of brick, orangey red. And then she's got this colour for her face. And a little bit of, missed a bit of green on the butterfly there. And I'm just going to, so that she doesn't look like she's floating, I'm just going to do a tiny bit of shadow under her, just to sort of ground her. And there. So that's how I draw her. And here she is. And thanks very much. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Rebecca. I love seeing my illustrators bring my characters to life like that. Rebecca and I have done 4 books together, and one of them is There's an Owl in My Towel. It's a book for younger readers with flaps, a lot of flaps on each page. And now I'm going to show you a film of Malcolm and me singing the song that goes with this book. And if you watch carefully, you'll see Rebecca's daughters showing you how to do the actions for that song.
There's a hair on my chair, there's a hair on my chair. Hop away, hair. There's a mole in my bowl, there's a mole in my bowl. Run away, mole. There's a lamb in my pram, there's a lamb in my pram. Skip away, lamb. There's an owl in my towel, there's an owl in my towel. Fly away, owl. There's a Ted in my bed, there's a Ted in my bed. Stay with me, cuddle me, Ted.
Thanks so much to Kit and Sorrel for helping to show how to do the actions for that book. Didn't they do a wonderful job? Well, I hope you'll join me next week when the book is going to be a treasury of songs, and my grandchildren are going to be doing some actions to some of the songs in that book, and Axel will be back to doing some drawing. So I hope to see you then.